What's up, Extra Brother listeners? On today's episode, we're bringing you a new genre of podcast from the Butter Boys. Our special features where we talk about a movie that's still actively in theaters. So spoiler alert, if you want to see these movies, make sure you guys go out and see them before you listen. And if you're unsure about it, listen to us idiots talk about it for an hour, and maybe it'll get you guys ramped up to go see a new movie out in theaters. So we're kicking things off with Backrooms, the 2026 sci-fi horror based on lore on YouTube videos. Young director Kane Parsons. We all saw it within the last couple of days. Wanted to jump in and get this out to you and put a pause on the Dynamic Duos series so we can get you guys something new and something that's actively in the theaters. So hope you guys enjoy the episode. Make sure you find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And make sure you drop us a follow on Instagram, X, the Everything app. It's all happening on X and TikTok for clips. The whole works. We've already released the fact that Backrooms is coming to you. So I hope you're already excited to listen to us talk about Kane Parsons' Backrooms. Critter, roll the tape.
Extra, extra butter on the corn for me. Extra, extra butter. I hope they don't charge a fee. But it won't matter anyway. I got a good movie to play. I'm gonna ask my friends to stay extra butter for me.
This is episode 1 of our new special features genre. Bringing some spice, bringing some flavor to you guys, and talking about a movie that is still in theaters. Spoiler alert. Gonna try and do this once a month, hand pick our movies. Bang it out in a weekend, try to get the boys on the same page, and bringing you guys a movie that's actively in the theaters. First one to you tonight will be Backrooms, the 2026 sci-fi horror movie that the boys had seen over the last few days. Wanted to squeeze it in as fresh as we possibly could. Made it happen. Some technical difficulties on the back end, but here we are with our first special feature, Backrooms. Trav, we have tasked you with the synopsis. Just read what you got, and I think we'll free flow this baby into pod talk.
No free ads, but Google AI. We got Backrooms, directed by Kane Parsons, 20-year-old. Shout out Kane Parsons, he's sick. Centers on a failed architect and struggling furniture store owner named Clark, who discovers a hidden portal in his store's basement. The doorway leads into the Backrooms, which is an endless maze-like dimension of drab, yellow wallpapered rooms and distorted architecture. I don't know how much more I can go into it or out of it and make it make any more sense or less sense.
And yeah. No, I think the Google AI is all you need.
We might get flagged for plagiarism.
It's as good as they'll get.
Can't plagiarize AI.
Yeah, you can.
No, but I know Geese and I saw it Sunday. The boys saw it on Monday. Ripping this bad boy on a Tuesday.
I like how that worked out. 2 on each day.
Well, I think, 3 of us saw it solo, and Geese, you did not. I wasn't supposed to.
Lexi.
I was told to fuck off. No chance for. I was like, yeah, I'm going to date night, go see Backrooms. She watched the trailer. He goes, I'm going to the winery or Pizza Vino with a friend. Movie. See you later.
Not a date night movie.
Absolutely similar.
I tried. She was there, and then just took my car home, came back and picked me up after the movie. I don't even know how I got her to even consider going, but I guess, the more I think about it, I don't think for somebody who hates horror movies, this one would be impossible to watch. I definitely think they could.
I'd argue it's not even really horror. Sure, there's elements of it, but it's more psychological thriller with a
A24 is known for good psychological thrillers.
Yeah, and it's more of like a sprinkle of horror in there. There's a couple jump scares and things like that, but for it to be considered like horror, like most of it's in his fucking furniture store. You know what I mean?
A lot of it was at the beginning.
Well, everything's in his furniture store, to be honest.
I was going to say the whole movie's in the furniture store. Depending on how you look at it. That's how they get there.
So yeah, there's some jump scares, things like that. I wouldn't call it horror.
I really enjoyed how empty the theater was when I went. It just made it so much more eerie. Like a full theater's just, it's a little bit different. There's a little bit of energy. You can kind of, somebody's next to you, go, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody within 20 feet of me. Just sitting there with my icy, just like.
Who sent the picture saying they were going to move up? Was that Trav or Chris?
That was me. It filled up in a hurry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I get there for the previews, but I mean, it was like a Monday, so everybody's probably like just scrambling after the Monday workday. But
hey, shout out!
It filled up.
Prime, baby.
Yeah.
I sat in E6. Brendan, I forget what seat's your favorite.
I did sit in E6 last night for something different, and this one, fun story about me going on Sunday. My theater didn't look crazy full. By the time the movie started, the only spot open was the seat next to me because it was my refunded cancellation ticket for my wife.
Shout out Chelsea, extra room.
So I got the spot for the Reese's Pieces to sit down next to me in my chair. But the one thing I'll say, not movie related, was usually I'm in one of the theaters down the hall and it said 14. And I felt like I was in the back rooms because I walked down, I see 1 through whatever, don't see 14, come back the other side, 15 through 24. I'm like, where the fuck is 14, dude? And there's a 15 and a 14 in the middle next to the Dolby and the IMAX that I just completely never noticed. So I'm like, I cannot find 14, dude. This door is not.
already. Yeah.
So I came back. I'm like, am I in the IMAX? I'm like, there's no way. And of course, it wasn't. It was just a bigger theater, and it was packed.
I feel like I'm always crossing the road when I come out of a movie because I never know which way is which when I come out. Does that not happen to you guys at all?
I know exactly the feeling you're talking about, but no.
Like I always walk out of the theater and I turn the way I think I'm supposed to go, and it's the wrong way.
I think it's just because you're an idiot.
That happens to me in elevators. When I get out of an elevator, I just like quick little, not going to commit to a direction and just make sure I'm going the right way. But no, my theater was packed. It sounded like Geese, yours was too.
Oh yeah, absolutely packed.
And
the whole theater itself was booming.
Well, I'll say to Trav's point, surprisingly for as big of a theater, pretty respectful crowd. Not a whole lot of chitter chatter, and not a whole lot of just side conversations. Whatever the case may be, wasn't that noticeable. I think everybody was pretty locked in on what was going on, which was nice. But I typically would agree that you lose the risk of that not happening when there's 4 people in there.
Right. But I also think it benefits from people not expecting this movie to blow up. So everyone there is actually like there to watch it now. Oh, I heard this was good. Mm-hmm. Regardless of age, where, blockbuster film Toy Story 5, we were just watching a trailer. That's probably going to have some people being obnoxious in it.
Well, when you've got, and I've talked to you guys about it, when I was looking on Monday, Tuesday at, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday showings, there was like 4 or 5 on there. And then
Same.
by
I
Sunday,
looked when you said that.
Yeah, by Sunday it was like every 45 minutes.
Yep.
It was playing.
Packed.
I know
packed time slots.
Critter popped this in the chat here for us, but grossed over 126 million worldwide, 81.4 million domestic for the weekend. Set another record yesterday on Monday for another 7.5 million. Largest A24 opening, largest indie horror movie opening. Or I think that was Obsession.
Youngest director too, I think.
Highest grossing youngest director. Highest grossing youngest director of all time.
He's 20.
Top 15.
He was basically in high school when he started doing this.
Right. And it was a top 15, I think, horror opening weekend of all time. Something like that. I mean, it's just continuing to set records. I know, again, we've talked about it. We don't need to get into Obsession, but that one's also doing pretty well. But this one, I mean, for A24 is a big
powerhouse.
That's a big studio.
Powerhouse.
and for him to be 20 and doing the YouTube series, being called on to make a movie. We've talked about the actors and their yellow carpet opening, that they had where everything was yellow and they all raved about how no one else could have directed this movie. Overall thoughts initially, I thought the cast was unreal for not knowing really any of them. I mean, the guy who was the MRI doctor or former MRI guy in that company, he is in the league and some other things. He's a bigger name, but not it's not Hokum had Adam Scott. Those are different level of actors involved in some of these movies. So I thought the cast was awesome. I thought the setting, obviously we've really talked about the 30,000 square foot stuff they've done and the shots they had on there, I thought was great. I thought for me it was unique obviously the movie's extremely unique, but you think of every YouTube or TikTok or Vine, any Instagram rabbit hole of creepy videos you go down that are shorter, and then the ones that this lore's behind and things that Kane Parsons did on YouTube to be selected to put that into a 2-hour big picture feature film is wild to me. It was confusing. There's no doubt about it. Not confusing in the sense of you can't follow what's happening. I think there's a lot of question marks, but I think we've talked plenty of times on movies when you still have questions, you still want to know more. It makes you Google, it makes you look into it. You might go, I'm probably going to go watch the YouTube series.
Bro, I've gone down the rabbit hole.
It's crazy,
times
man.
On this thing.
It's crazy. So confusing, but
it's really
not a criticism.
It's really not a complicated concept, right? The possibilities of what is possible in the back rooms, I feel like is extensive, but the overall concept of there's another dimension here and it has layers to it, I feel like that's pretty easy to understand. So then you take that concept and then you can apply that to so many different stories, which is essentially what this is. It's a continuation of the YouTube series, but just a different story about it. And that's kind of why I struggled on rating this, is that I think story-wise is not as impactful as the movie production itself. I feel like the way that they filmed it, the cinematography, the music, all that, fantastic. I felt like the plot was a little static to a degree, but then you look up everything afterwards and you realize what you're watching. And I don't know if there's a better way to introduce this type of concept than the way they did it.
Yeah, I was in the middle of that movie thinking to myself, as much as I'm thoroughly enjoying being in a blender, I don't think I ever want to watch this movie again, but I love it. If that makes any sense. I was so weirded out and just in a different headspace watching this. I didn't watch any YouTube videos before. I didn't watch any. I knew a little bit about it. Just dove right in. I am thinking to myself, I prefer it that way, where I can learn about it after the fact and just, okay, I don't have to experience that anxiety again. Because I was sitting there watching because I'm somebody that wants to figure the movie out. I want, where are we getting? Where are we getting? You ain't getting there with this. You're not.
No. It just goes deeper. I think it's like Inception, but there's no point of going deeper, and it just gets weirder.
You feel like you're in the Backrooms.
Yeah.
I thought, and to your point,
Brennan's there right now.
Yes.
Yeah, to your point, Geese, I thought I couldn't agree more. I think what they could do now and the opportunities that are open are absolutely legitimately.
The second
endless.
Backrooms is going to be insane,
but
guaranteed.
The thing that we need to make sure we have to hope and trust they don't do is just try to get them out. We gotta. this idea is so massive and how much they can do. And I have since Trav. I was kind of the same way. I didn't watch any YouTube series about it. I knew he had one. I knew
Yeah, I
the
didn't.
idea.
I went
of
in
the,
blind.
I knew the idea of the back rooms, and I've seen some videos that are not correlated directly to him, but people that have taken their spins on it. But I think to really get it, which is weird to say because it's easy to get to your point, but the layers and what doors they not no pun intended, but the doors they can open now for I mean you've seen the pool layers, the neighborhoods, the you name it, and it's just trying to really get in explain it well enough to understand the replication factor that's coming into it, the different dementia, why these people look the way they do. I've seen some criticisms on the big, scary being, and this being Captain Clark and Pirate Clark, just a
Captain Clark.
big creature looking, looking a little bit odd, but there's a lot more of I think a more horror effect with creatures that could maybe come up down the road, and people were upset about that. But I think to really showcase for those, because it was we talked about it in weeks past, a 20 to 30 million production, moved to 40 to 50. Now it's doing over 100, and they're setting records. And some people that have no idea what it was.
The average viewer is enjoying it, man.
Yeah, and they did a good enough job explaining such an obscene thought that you could follow enough to. By the end of it, you got it.
Yeah,
and now it's like you can go anywhere.
And we've definitely complained on this pod before about like the open interpretation. I feel like they kind of nailed it in here because they kind of led you to two options, right? You have Clark, who is feeding the back rooms, and it's an entity to a degree. And then you have Async, who thought of it just as a location. It's just this dimensional plane. And it's like Clark was actually in there like it's a living organism. Like this is how it operates. And then from there, like it's limitless. So I feel like having those contrasting viewpoints even shown in the film helps you separate it and break it down.
Let me say this. Let me say this quick. If you're an idiot, this movie sucked.
It gets a little deep. It does get a little deep.
But if you have a little bit intelligence, I think you can find your way to enjoy it and kind of keep the open interpretation, like you're saying, to go, okay, I can see some avenue. But if you're like, what the hell's happening here? There's no point to this. Then you're cooked.
Yeah.
The story started years ago. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, actually the original was on 4chan. Some dude posted like they call it a creepypasta.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Kane, the director.
Kane Parsons, yep.
Yeah, he took over from there.
Yeah.
And the original guy, it has been part of the Backrooms Discord channel since like the beginning. So it's like it's a tight community, and it just took
in Oshkosh, Wisconsin was this photo.
Yeah.
And then someone else posted if you're not careful and you clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet and the madness of mono yellow. God, those lights. I could still hear them. The endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms. And then he just made his whole
built on it, man.
YouTube video
and
out
made
of
it like a real concept. The one thing I do want to criticize the film about is I understand it's focusing on a particular story, but it's not really explained what is and what isn't copied. Like we have Clark that's copied, we have Mary that's copied at the end. But the random guys that were in there at the beginning, like, what is it copying? Like, shouldn't these rooms be full of creatures, let's say, from everything it's pulling in? Or does it just copy people that go into the back room? So there's, I get why they did that, but I wish they kind of showed that it's not just certain people. It's either people that come in or it's copying everything. And you don't have to populate it a bunch, but like it's only Clark's, personification of the people he knew that are getting copied. His ex-wife, himself, which feeds into Captain Clark. But I didn't like that portion of it because it made it seem like it was selecting these two to copy instead of the others. And that's kind of where it gets into that open interpretation of like how that operates, which I don't necessarily like. I like the open interpretation of like what the backrooms are. I just wish they dialed that in a little bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest like rebuttal to that is just the fact that it is infinite. So
Right.
we're just seeing the portion of what they wanted us to see, and I think that's where the criticisms come in of what they could have done with some of the things that we saw and the creatures involved and whatever replications and distorted images of what else could be in there. I think that's where people are like, you could have gone so much more with things that would have just been terrifying. And it's like,
I don't even think it needs that. I just wanted more explanation, because like if we're to assume that the first guy got killed by Captain Clark prior to Clark going into the back rooms, it would lead you to assume that it's copying everything outside. But then Mary doesn't show up until the end, and she went into the back rooms, and now she's kind of copied. So, just and whatever the explanation is, I just wish we got it.
yeah. Trevor muted.
The fact that time isn't linear in this kind of realm, I think, is what I've seen as part of the lore behind it. That not necessarily that is explained, but that would make sense. And the fact that once something's in, it's always been in. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I think different topic, because I do agree, because Captain Clark would have been showing up for, I think Kat and Bobby were the two that went in with him.
Yeah.
And Bobby's the one that, obviously gets pulled back down and whatnot. But something I wanted to touch on was...
I saw that rope not pulled all the way up. I said, that guy's fucked.
Yeah, that was crazy. And, that was another layer of going back to, and a couple of the points on the original little paragraph that was reading there, just the moist and the stink, they say, of what that guy would have been, of where Captain Clark would have been living is the idea, and like how much it would have smelled, and it was just moist down there. Like that is more the element of where the original thought, I think, was shown in the movie. The other piece of that snippet that I think is worth mentioning here is, like, we understand what like a no clipping is, or a glitch you find in a game where you go onto the map. I thought to introduce you to the movie too, if he has a furniture store, the power numbers and the money being spent just doesn't correlate with what's going on, and they're trying to find a way to explain how he would eventually find this, whatever's causing these numbers and the power to be so high at his furniture store. And you can't necessarily describe what a no clip is, but we've been in games like COD or Halo or whatever, where you can fall through the bottom of the map, or you can walk through a wall, and people...
Destiny too, dude. Like, there's
every game. You can go into a rock and you're just off the map. Like, that is what
and
it is.
You're never getting back.
No, and you're going to piss a lot of people off. You're cheating, yeah. But that's what it is, and I thought the idea of the power bill and the exploration of what's going on, and him finding the little sliver of light, I thought they did a good job of that, because it's hard to just get there,
right,
for an average viewer if you don't understand what that means.
Brennan, I'm curious if maybe you two geese or Trav the teenager population. I feel like this is like huge.
Oh yeah,
with them. I'm curious what their thoughts are on it, and like they could probably provide us some insight on a lot of shit that we're trying to like digest. That was interesting. Yeah, I was sitting next to two teenagers and thought they were gonna. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I thought they were gonna be screaming their heads off the whole time because the first scene I was like, oh no. But
when I was watching this,
I'm curious what they would have to say.
When I was in the theater watching this, the initial thought that went through my head in terms of plot would be that he would start renting it out. Like the beginning scene of the guy running through, hey, I've never been this deep before you know anything, I thought was a future preview of him like selling it and people like coming in to see how far they can get and do things like that. And then it was just complete 180 on that, dude. I think then if they do it a series or a movie, I think that's how it should go. I feel like it should become like almost current events where it's like a phenomena that is happening, and like people are just like kind of like Running Man, like trying to do like runs through it, do film it, see how deep they can get and get out. Like I feel like that would be like the social interactions in there would be like really good.
That's interesting, and it leads me to two thoughts of follow-up on what I'd like to see next, as well as what I thought this was going to be, and I'd be curious what Trav and Crit also thought. My thought process of going into it was that he was going to be more in and out and meeting with a therapist more, meeting with Mary more, and just keeping a trail so he could always find his way back. Sure. And then eventually just getting lost. I didn't know he was going to just engulf I'm going to make a life down here. And, my life outside sucks. So he just kind of engulfed the idea of like the creativity, kind of figuring it out and making that a new world for him and living. I thought he was going to be going in with a rope or piece of candy, piece of candy, and finding his way back, and then eventually just turned the wrong corner and just couldn't get out. And then which ultimately Mary did go to find him because he hadn't been coming to therapy sessions, the mail under the door.
There ain't no fucking way I'm going in that place, Mary. I'll tell you that.
Well,
another criticism, because she didn't even try to get out. She just said, I'm in.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, yes, if you wanted to criticize that, I think
you clip through a fucking wall, I'm immediately trying to get out, dude.
I think there's a deeper story to it, though. Like,
and I also
maybe her
theories. Yeah.
I also think
mom wasn't all there, so
because they showed a lot of her backstory. They didn't explain it very well, but she was very sheltered and whatnot.
But yeah, I agree. Was in there.
Her
fuck it, I'm going in.
Her finding it by a fly flying around and just
I love that dude.
Was well done. And then
fun fact, there was a couple flies flying around in the movie theater when I was there. Not it was like 2 flies. Yeah, like honestly, they did kind of stop getting in the way after that scene. Yeah,
but no, I had thought getting lost was going to be the reason why she ended up going in, not because he just bought into it. So. Would be curious what
I mean, if you think about it, he did get lost. Not physically, mentally.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought physically was where I was where I was going with it. But
I thought he was gonna do like a big map and everything, and like he gets lost and someone goes in there to find him. And I thought she was gonna get I honestly thought she would like leave and get the government involved. And then that's like how the second one's set up, shit like that. I don't know.
Well, because my thought on you think that's an interesting thought of the renting or the getting people involved and trying to see how far they can make it and get out. I think that would almost add too much parody to it, the way I'm thinking of it. Because my thoughts, and that's why I was like, I think all 4 of us should be able to jump in and just because I think these could be so drastically different.
Yeah.
Because my thoughts on the next ones is more so. Could you keep some, like obviously Mary's probably, and I can't remember the guy's name. It was MRI guy. They sync, but you could keep some of the cast, but you could always introduce more. And I think more of an individual, almost like it's this. It's not like Black Mirror, because I think the thought of one would be a Black Mirror episode, but now it is a world, it is a setting that's set in place now, but different layers. And each time, like, we don't need to come back to the yellow, like layer 0, whatever. I think this is layer 0.
Yeah.
Make them all individual. And maybe sometimes you cross different layers and you do enter different worlds, but I think just making them all individual, unique in its own way, with the same premise of the Backrooms, with maybe one person coming back or two people coming back from the first one, and you've got a new reason for somebody to find it. It's just like completely changed the setting, but with the same premise of the Backrooms. That's what I mean. Like, I think.
Well, I think you can do that. I mean, yeah, level 0 will be kind of the same, but they did show that Mary's subconscious was starting to take effect in there as well. Once she was like in there for a while. That's why I think, like, if you open it up to like a bunch of different people trying it, then it just becomes an absolute mess in there. And who knows what's going to start getting copied and then recopied. Like, it could escalate everything. I would like to see the second one incorporate a couple of the main characters, though. Like, maybe it's more of a focus on async, and like Mary's still there, and then like they go a little too deep and something spawns. Like, Clark's mental health is ultimately what allowed Captain Clark to be as physical as real. It's bleeding. The other ones are just look like rice. So if you introduce someone that can really manipulate it intentionally, like what does that cause? It just, possibilities are endless on this.
I'm going to
it's going to come down to, yeah, 100%. If he's not involved, I'm out.
I don't think they would ever. They couldn't. Absolutely,
they could. I mean,
yeah, but I think they might go bigger than A24 even.
No, I think A24's got it. Will be an A24 film.
They have
they're just it'll be like
whatever. Yeah.
It'll be like a Netflix series getting really popular. Like, they're gonna throw a bottomless bucket of green cash at this kid, and he either nails it or he doesn't. But the Backrooms nailed it.
Right.
The only reason,
and I hope
again is when there's another one coming out.
Yeah.
What did you?
I mean, I'll watch this again, but
Crit Trap, what did you guys think was going? Because obviously, Geese and I's thoughts were much different going into it, and then ultimately, what happened was neither one of our predictions. What did you guys think was going to be like how this would play out? Why were they in there?
I thought we were going to get more people.
Do you now?
That's I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get more people that were already in there, and I wasn't really expecting much. I just thought we were going to follow him, and she's now in there, and whatever she needs to find, she's going to find, or something like that. I had no expectations, so I mean, didn't really predict anything. Just kind of let it happen at that point.
It's just along for the ride. The only thing as we got closer to the end, I almost wish they didn't factor in the scientists for the government, whatever you want to call them, at the beginning, because that would have been kind of maybe factor in the movie night with the family with the one scientist, but like as far as like other people being involved, I think that would have added a little bit of a shock factor to me. But
I'm with you there, Crit.
Yeah,
I think they keep the scenes with the cameras,
yep,
and the scientist guy watching. I think at the end, keep async everything. You cut to black, and then you show the first clip at the end, and it's like they're exploring more now that Mary's kind of telling them everything that's going on, and it shows that hey, these areas are pretty abandoned. This guy's deeper. He's in the shit, and then cut to black again in credits.
Yeah, I thought
but maybe that's too linear. For what we're dealing with here.
I thought it was weird, and maybe just didn't. I grasped the idea of how that company had transitioned into finding this, and this is all the research money going into it. But I thought it was odd, and maybe that they had another entrance or what. But the fact that she gets away from Captain Clark and then is almost getting fumigated by people to bring her out, and then they're bringing Clark out to study him. Captain Clark, not Clark, but bringing his body out to study him and learn more. I just felt like it was, and again, most of the things that are open ended, I'm fine with because I want everything to be on the table for what could happen and how much longer they could make this go. But the fact that there was people and the cameras obviously set the tone of showcasing they can see what's going on in some areas of the back rooms, and they don't have it all. But the fact that she got away and then was ultimately kind of saved by this company and then they just explain that and they fumigate her, bring her out, and they're studying, asking her questions, studying Captain Clark's body. That part just felt a little bit odd. And where did they get in? They didn't say like what their entrance was. I doubt it was Captain Clark's furniture shop.
It's a different one.
Right.
And I think because I'm assuming that entrance wasn't there in the furniture store. So maybe it's like really strong emotions cause a back room to open up a little bit, and maybe that's like self-loathing emotions or things like, similar to what Clark had. But I think that it may be attracted to that type of mentality that allows you to find it. So then eventually you'll have doors everywhere.
Yeah, right. More intense emotions cause crazier things. Yeah,
cause the blip in the system to allow because. And again, I think we can criticize a lot about the open-endedness, but I think it also helps because of, again, we want to see more. We want there to be more movies. But that part was just a little bit off, but I did like the ending of the room that she was in, and I've seen more since that every layer underneath that same picture just keeps getting more distorted and distorted and distorted. So, like, what it looks like on layer 7.
Yeah, dude, the ending scene where it's just going down all the levels, sick.
Unreal. And it's just, it changes and it's like similar, and then it's a little more or less similar, and then just re-imaging like the next thought. Like, okay, I saw my room here, the layer down, some things are going to be off, and then when I'm in that room, the next one that gets built is going to be
and then you're thinking
off.
Of that one, so then that one gets copied,
right,
instead of the original room. Yeah. I mean,
it's absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The some of my favorite parts, or I guess maybe things that, and I've seen people talk about these, but it was the Bobby down below, the Christmas tree room, like some of the more eerie settings. Did we just, in the movie, they were just completely ignoring that head in the laundry? Did you guys not see that?
It was a mannequin head. I literally...
okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was a mannequin head.
Seeing this?
Yeah, same, dude. I went over like, dude.
I laughed.
She's like, what? I'm like, the head. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's just a mannequin head.
Right.
I mean,
creepy.
Perfect.
I am a sucker for POV old style.
found
footage.
Yeah. Sucker for the old POV style.
The POV VHS tape style.
Found footage.
What's it?
That's what the YouTube videos
are
called.
It's found footage.
By
is that okay?
The director,
anyway,
found footage.
I'm trying to think of paranormal. paranormal, and the one monster flick. I want to say Green something.
The one I watched recently, I was talking about the Hunting of Matthew Nichols. It had it. I mean, I think Sinister's got a little bit of it. Like found footage is, I am a sucker for it too. It gives an element. The beginning of the movie, the first scene is found footage. Bobby's found footage, like all of that stuff where you're recording inside the movie you're watching.
Cloverfield,
yeah.
Found footage is
Green,
what I'm talking about. It's
yeah.
so
Clover.
It's
I got
so the element it gives you is so different.
Yeah,
It just makes you on edge. As soon as it starts, you're just on edge.
well, because
it turns.
It turns, it moves. You hear like rustling of clothing, the breathing, like it just introduces such a dynamic way to you're watching a film of a guy watching a film, filming like.
Well, I also like the way they shot the scene with Mary running away from Captain Clark.
Yep.
He'd
Yes.
slowly be behind her, but he's still coming, and like it's in the distance where he's opening the door, or he's.
But dude,
he's
when she's
climbing
on the
up
stairs, like, move your ass. Come on.
right?
They're 3 feet wide. You're good.
She's got a
Hustle
bum
on.
leg. She tripped over the 20 couches. Tore
I mean-
her ACL.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Blew the knee out.
Just that's a rookie mistake. You gotta aim for the armrest. Can't just be stepping on cushions there.
Easier said than done, Geese. I want
Let's
to put
set
you
up
in the
that.
back
Yeah,
rooms,
let's let's set it up for geese.
Dude, Halloween haunted houses set up in backroom style,
That'd be
They're
like
coming.
like a hotel.
They're coming.
Like, oh yeah, dude, like a hotel, and you just do backrooms, dude. It's a maze. You got to find your way out.
That would
I
suck because
would be shocked if it's not already a thing. Be honest with you.
Well, the set.
what are they going to do?
Well,
with the set?
I think this has been a thing for 4 or 5 years now. Like
Right, but now that it's
now it's even more mainstream. Yeah.
I'm waiting
Very
for all that.
mainstream.
I hope it continues, man. I hope the reception for it continues because, dude, I just feel like there's unlimited potential with this.
The most memeable part of this movie too, and it's already started to happen, is when Mary goes in and Clark's like in the hallway and he's kind of peeking his head out like you're being too loud, and he's just like standing there. I've seen people. It's so funny, like that picture and that still image of Clark standing in like a hallway, like right behind me here.
Yeah.
And he's just like half his head or like his whole body's just standing there, and you're being too loud. It's just this still image. I've already seen it being used. That is going to be the next big meme that is going to just surface and just get beat like a dead horse.
Captain Clark's going to get a good one too, I think. Just
Yeah.
Did you guys see the guy? That was a
7'9",
legitimate person that
7'8".
played him.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
dude. That was a
He
actual
played an
human
alien
being.
in another movie.
Romanian. He's a Romanian.
Fed Bennett?
No.
No, it's Robert Bob
something.
Krojicki.
Yeah. His nickname's Rob Bob, by the way.
Oh.
He's a real
Oh, this
person,
guy.
dude.
Yeah,
He's
I've seen
huge.
that guy.
Yeah, I did. That was surprising seeing that was a real.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, he,
Yeah,
he played.
What else
Captain,
is he in?
Captain Clark. He's in an
That's
alien movie.
that's a
Yeah.
big dude.
The guy could play Slender Man too.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got a typecast. I think there's not. He could play a tree.
Money's money, brother.
In a Broadway show, a theatrical play, he could just be a tree back there.
The Giving Tree. Just-
This one. If you don't watch, we've got the meme up, and the first one we've got here is 8-year-old me preparing to tell my mom at 9 p.m. I need glue and construction paper for my project that's due tomorrow. They're already good. I would like to
Shut up, dig with a gun.
It'll never happen, but the setting, the actual structure that they built for this would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
That little door up the ramp, he's got there's those types of things are so interesting.
Just explore all the scenes that they did. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was reading that people would get lost on set,
oh yeah,
and I wish they kind of explored that a little bit Like they really didn't. I mean, initially, yeah, with Clark, but and I guess the very beginning, but they don't show anyone like lost,
Just
trying
getting
to
turned around over and over
yeah,
again.
but like the one guy's trying to run for that's when they did it. Every time someone's like running for their life is where they don't give a shit where they came from. They're just going.
Yeah, whatever door.
But they
I can
didn't.
open.
Right, but that's fear, panic, like that makes sense. They didn't show someone just trying to get out.
like lose that was my point of what I felt would happen was Clark would continue to
Right.
go and he would get lost and he could not find his way back.
And then you are just introduced to just levels of panic. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And with the way the backrooms are set up, I feel like that shows better than, you're in the middle of the woods. Oh, walked around in circles. There's no fucking circles in the backrooms.
Right.
And more suspense would have built up. Like then you start hearing stuff. Then you open the wrong door. Then it's like.
And I also
continued.
thought that at the very beginning scene where he goes in and he's coming back out, I thought it was going to be a complete, like it would have shifted and completely changed.
Yeah, I think that's something that I thought would happen too. Would be I think about it, and I think I might have mentioned it on the pod, either on an episode or pre-pod. Like I think of Maze Runner and how every night the maze shifts and changes. I thought that would be more like this, but I think once it's replicated, that's what it is. Now it can continue forever. But
Right.
once it's built, it feels like that's what it is, and
It's a physical object at that
Right.
point. It's not
So you
this
could always-
shifting.
yeah, because technically you could always then find your way out if you were tracking
Right.
it. But I agree. I think even everybody that went in died or was rescued.
Right.
Clark died.
Right.
He stopped trying to leave. He didn't want to. Kat and Bobby died, and then Mary gets rescued. So like we didn't
The guy
have
in the beginning died.
guy in the beginning died, and the guy in the beginning I think was probably I don't know. I think that was well before. I've needed to look more into it because whatever was chasing him was not Captain Clark.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Really? I don't know if I remember seeing exactly if we got to see
They
that,
don't
'cause-
show it, so it is up to interpretation what it is.
Yeah.
But
and I think that's what people like because
Yeah.
he was screaming and stuff similar to what Clark was doing.
yeah.
And that's why I said it doesn't really make sense. Like, was Clark there before, or Captain Clark there before Clark came in? Or was it he's in close proximity, so it's copying him, and he's just kind of feeding it with his, like, mental state? Or does it, like, that's what I wanted clarification
The
on.
dimension it's in, under my my thought that I want it to be, to make it make sense, is that the time isn't linear, and whatever goes in at any time has always been there. If that makes any sense.
That made sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And his store is called Captain Clark, so there's more than just how many commercials did he film on that? Because my other thought, and this is not necessarily completely the same, but like I thought of Us, and
Yeah.
Us doesn't have
What about
it's not
Us?
a back room. It's not. It's just a different layer.
That
of
underworld,
clones.
yeah.
But they're not. They do replicate everything that's going on. So like anytime. And I think that goes to Trav's linear timeline is like we saw Clark shooting a commercial with the peg leg and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has he done that before that day? So like Captain Clark could have been down there from the first time he got the store and threw a captain outfit on, and that was just his because the store is called Captain Clark, so he's probably done that countless times.
Well, and how soon before when did he film that in comparison to entering? Because that could have been he filmed it, it gets copied, and then it's that guy is deep down in there trying to find out before he even finds that door.
right,
And
and and like that goes to the how many more Captain Clarks are down there that look completely different and more distorted and more creepy and whatever as you get deeper into the back rooms. It's what they can do. I just can't get over the thought of what it is, and what the.
Would you guys rather happen? TV show or continuation of this for
I think both.
basically 6 movies worth, 7 movies worth,
I was
if
thinking
not
about
more.
it, and
Fast and Furious,
from what
scary movie, like
Two back, two rooms.
kind of runs. Yeah,
from what
I think I'd rather
Brendan
have a TV
said,
show.
I would like to have the movie with following Mary Async and a continuation of that, and kind of expand it, and then the TV show be what I was saying, where it's like teenagers like getting in there and like doing stupid shit, graffitiing the walls, things like that. And then each episode is like different people throughout the world getting in there. Because like imagine different cultures and shit. Like, yeah, we saw Captain Clark in this one, and it's a pirate, pretty static, like thought. But like, what if we get someone in there that is like really religious, and now you got some entity in there that's being manifested,
I think the idea is so big that we'll probably have more movies, and they've already started to talk about him getting. They're approving the second. He's finding a screenwriter. So he's going to get more people involved. It did really well. They're going to have more money now, obviously. Not that A24 didn't have money.
Hopefully he also gets people that are like really into it.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think I would like there to be movies, and I think you could certainly make a TV show. There's, again, TV show-wise, endless ideas of opportunities of the directions they could take this. But movie-wise, I think it could be similar to. Now I know the Conjuring movies and the Warrens were all based on true stories, but that is a massive. Movies that you don't even. Conjuring has numbers to them, but Annabelle is part of those stories. Insidious is part of those. Like, there's a lot of different. The Nun, like they don't have to just. The Backrooms would be. I don't want them to go Backrooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like Backrooms.
It
layer
should be themed. It should be themed.
Backrooms, layer this or whatever the theme. Yeah, like just keep the Backrooms name and then have the Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Like don't number them, because I think that's when we start to pump things out. But I think they could get unique with the names and really set the tone. So I think you could do that for movies, keep it that way. TV shows would be spinoffs. If they do it right, this could be like it could be going on for a very long time with media that we're going to get from it, and I hope we do, because it is eerie, it's unique, it's different, it's not like things you see. I think there's people I've mentioned this too. I think there's other shows or movies that people say to watch to kind of get an idea of liminal horrors, but I just think that this idea and them now getting into the big screen and the success that they had is they're going to continue to be able to just make stuff for a long time, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a pod by, I think it's like Smosh Alike. Kane Parsons was on there, and he said that there was someone, which he could say that all he wants, but at the end of the day, he did say that he knows where the story is going to end. He said there was someone with 2 likes in the comments that knew where it was going to end, but he could also just be saying, just keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. But that's what kind of keeps me intrigued, is like he knows where he's going to go with this, or at least he has like somewhat of an idea. Yeah, it could branch off with other people
he's been working
feeding
on it
into
for 4
it.
years.
But yeah, he already kind of has like an idea of where the end point is in his mind. Yeah, it could branch off, but that's what kind of intrigues me, is that he's said, yeah, like I know there's going to be an end point. I hate not having an end point for these things. And I don't think he wants to be married to the Backrooms forever. Like, he wants to do other shit.
Yeah, he's 20, dude. The guy.
Yeah.
He could. And if he wants to be in direct, obviously, if you're creating videos like that at his age when he started this, that's a passion that you have. So yeah, I mean, if he's got the end in sight and he can take us on the journey, I'll be watching every single one of them. And
Sign me up.
There could still be more if people get involved or want to do their own thing with it and buying some rights or getting involved. That could happen, but I'm glad that that's a comment because I saw, and I don't know if it could be AI or getting one guy, but I saw a clip of something that might have been cut out that one of the scenes where Mary opens a door, it is going to kind of how when she walked out that door and it was the different garages and cars where she actually opened the door and it was like just a forever neighborhood of like grassland and different houses everywhere. And so you can pick the setting, it's like, I know there's a lot out there that I need to learn more about, but you can pick the yellow walls, you can pick, a cellar, you can pick whatever you want. And the idea stays the same, but how you tell the story would change.
Yeah. That might be one of the things that does hurt it is if it sticks with just rooms. Like how do you evolve that?
Right.
Do you evolve that? I don't know.
They do evolve.
That is
I
true.
think hiding Captain Clark, the big whatever the fuck that was, just hiding him forever. Even this entire movie. Hide him the whole time. You're still scared as shit the whole time. Like, what does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like? And then you see that.
I wanted to know that
it
so
does hurt.
bad. I wanted to know.
Kind of hurt it when old big boy ducked under the ceiling. Like it, yeah. I'm just like, this is what it is. I don't know. That's my only.
I was expecting
really my only critique.
more,
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I will agree with
There's
you.
There's probably a rhyme to the reason, but
it makes sense why that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought it was going to be more abstract than Captain Clark.
Yeah, but I agree with your point too, and that was going back to early points. Is like people are mad of like, I expected or we could have gotten this, and it's just a slideshow of these different things that have come up on YouTube or TikTok or people that have taken this idea, and then it goes to Captain Clark, and it is funny. But the way that they did describe it and explained it to people that maybe didn't understand or didn't have any idea what was going on, like it made sense. I didn't expect him to bite through his neck right there.
Right.
No.
That caught me off guard. It also is funny that she was able to just kind of sneak by him and get out of there when she left.
Dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
That 20
minutes.
Vibes. That 20 minutes of like, him discovering you're being too loud, to the point where he's chasing her and then she gets caught, by the acing people. That 20-minute piece, best, absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Just kept you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. Well, the whole time, like, how the hell is she get out of this fucking place, dude?
Yeah.
And where are we going? What's going to happen here? There is no like where you can see something coming out and going whatever until boom, alarm goes off.
And if they would have just killed her, where do you go?
Right.
You have and then it would have been like you have to tie in Phil because he's been watching on the TV, he's been freaking out. You have to tie that in.
He will be tied in, I think, in the next movie.
Yeah, they needed
So will
this.
Mary. I don't think she's gonna be allowed to leave.
I bet these get way more insane. Like I think you needed
I think
this.
you can really build on the concept, and that's gonna make the next one like the pinnacle.
And it's still like confusing enough to be like, what did I just watch? Like, holy shit. That's why I'd want to watch it again. But I think it was as simple as they could have made it with this crazy of an idea to get people to understand it. Mm-hmm. So now they can now we're in. Now we're going.
I think I would need to watch it. If I were going to watch it again without a sequel coming yet, I need to see it with one of you guys or somebody that needs to see it for the first time. That'll get me excited enough to watch it. Otherwise, I am not watching this by myself.
I need to rewatch it. I feel like
imagine watching this tripping.
Bet you a lot of people have.
I almost think too.
You might understand it better.
Yeah. I almost think, and maybe we've talked about this with horrors too, but like horrors can really get you in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Like louder, big screen, dead quiet, dark. But
I feel like this one
watch
hits
this
more
one
at home.
That's what I'm saying. If you watch this one at home, but like by yourself, like it would be,
dude. Just the contrast of it, because like watching at night in a room,
like an apartment.
like, yeah,
You go
well, it's just
outside
like it's a smaller space, right? Like you're in the theater, and because it's so big, you see your surroundings more and everything, right? But if you're at home and it's dark, lights are off, that contrast to the yellow rooms is gonna pop.
You should go watch it at night in the office with all the lights on by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I told you guys earlier, man, like my lights are motion censored. So they're just like flicking on and off at like weirdly based off like me moving, and every time it happens I'm like touching the walls
Clark?
and everything. Like
What's that power bill looking like?
Yeah.
might be more to unfold there. But no, it was good. I think.
Hey, that's why the gas pipes and the fire suppression system and the water lines weren't working.
Yeah.
It's clipping.
Backers under building.
It's
It's clipping.
somewhere else.
Yeah, it's clipping.
It was good. I don't think, for me, I was very excited to see it. I did not see the YouTube. I learned a lot before. I didn't watch anything because I wanted to go in blind. I think for me, it did not disappoint.
No.
Like I think we've talked
what are
about
we
how
rating
movies
it?
can get hyped. Yeah, I think I ultimately landed on a 4.
Same.
I think there was, and I'll be honest, I think there was a point in time in the movie, and I'm curious if you guys had similar thoughts, because sometimes, like when I'll be watching, I'll just think to be like, where am I at with what this movie is? I'm not kidding you, dude. I was at one point, this was a 2.5, and at one point this was a 5, and I'm like. I get to the end and I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, you're taking the criticisms, but you're also opening the door to what they could do. And I think to Geese's point, I think you mentioned it or hit it home earlier, but the acting, the cinematography, the music, the camera shots, the fact we had found footage made up for some of the things that maybe you thought a little bit more weird. It didn't make as much sense. And I think that I enjoyed the not making sense or the open-endedness. The back end of it with the async people, I think will make more sense to me down the road, how they got there, why they're there. We learned a little bit, but not as much. So I think ultimately it's like I gave it a 4, and I think they could the next one could be up there with the top horror movies that are those type, like higher than a 4, or it could very easily drop pretty far down.
I think the argument for a 4 right now is we're at the tippity top and we're only halfway there.
Only halfway up, yeah.
Yeah.
With the potential.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the 4.
I landed where it's like the story for me is like, well, I'll start. I was at like a 3.5, and then I started thinking of like X-Files. I was like, I can't rate that mystery vibe type deal. And then my head went to, well, Brennan just bitched about a series being on this fucking pod, and this is a YouTube series.
And for those of you listening, that will be coming at you next Friday because that's not released yet. But
the story for me is around a 3.5 altogether, full package 4.
I thought I just want to comment on that because I thought the way you described it and the way we got to hear of the staticness and the simplicity to it, even though it's such a wild concept, they had to make this movie that way. So I think that's where the storyline 3 is kind of where I would have fallen on it too. But knowing the production and what they built, not even the success of the movie, but the things that they did with the money they had, it was unbelievable.
Like there is a physical set out there with all these rooms.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That adds to it too, man, because like when you actually have crew members getting lost, like, and having like a system to get out, like that's awesome. Like I knew that going in too, because I was kind of following it a little bit. But it makes it real. and it's not some green screen. It's not CGI. I'm sure some of it is, obviously, but it just adds an element where you're using real props, and you can't hate that. Can't hate real props. You can bag on the quality of them, sure, but
Absolute cinema.
absolute cinema.
I mean, yeah, I walked out with. I was honestly at a 3 with it. I liked the literally first person look around a corner, like that was suspenseful as shit. Like Captain Clark, that killed it for me a little bit. But at the end of the day, like it did get like a half point because of the lore that I really don't know about, but I'm starting to get more of it. But
I heard.
I'm just curious where they go. Like, I think this is almost, in my mind, it's like a Batman Begins in a way.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like, it's kind of like forgotten about because the next two were so spectacular.
Added to the Blindsided.
Yeah. But
literally, Backrooms did begin.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think I'd be okay with a 3.5 max for me. But I was walking out of the theater a little confused. Give it a 3.
I did read
that,
online that,
but yeah,
that
3.
knowing of the YouTube series, like you really appreciated the movie.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And that's why I want to go back and
Right.
rewatch it now. Whereas Trav's like, I don't want to rewatch it again. I'm like, now I have to.
Yeah,
Because I was watching some YouTube videos.
I want to watch the YouTube series and then watch it again too. But
Dude, I started checking out a couple of those of his videos on there. I see what people are talking about.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Well, and it lands on a 3.4 on Letterboxd right now, and I think I think that's pretty good for a movie that had a niche, almost cult following of what this was before, and the people that ended up going to see this without, like myself and Trav. I have not watched any of that. I know it exists. I didn't until the production and whatnot. But to land on a 3 and a 4 or 3.4 seems impressive for
What
who
it was.
and who would have known going into it or seen all that stuff before with the mass amounts of audience and records they're breaking for attendance. To still be in the horror category we've talked about, and comedy's tough. It's usually around a 3 or 2.6 to 3.
Horror movies,
you find stuff.
eaten.
Yeah, but like to give you the wide scope of what's like, Obsession, I think on Letterboxd is a 4.2, which is unbelievably high for a horror movie. This is a 3.4, and then Passenger, which I've heard mixed opinions about, it's like a 2.4. So horror and comedy continues to have the biggest swings of you either found it funny or scary, or you understood it, or you didn't. And 3.4 with a very cult following, oddity, young director YouTube series into a movie. I feel like that's pretty good. And my 4 probably comes with a little bit of homerness to it, right? I think 3.5 is a very fair rating. I just
Is that
am
our
so
official
excited.
rating? 4 would be ours.
4 would be ours, but I think 3.5 is fair.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much excitement for what they can get to.
I wish there was like an in between 3.5 and 4, because I feel like we're kind of all in between that 3.5 and 4.
Yeah, I know you can't really rate it that way, but we'll be bringing the score up ever so slightly with that for that 3.4.
That's all right.
I do
What
think
movie's next, gentlemen? What Absolute Cinema is next?
Well, I was going to say, I think and again, this is a Absolute Cinema monumental moment. Tough to say fast. For us on the pod, like being able to start incorporating these once a month, here's my thought process. I think we're going to have to absolutely look at the month in advance, because I think the best way to do this is if we all saw it within the same few days.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't necessarily be able to just get to July and be like, let's just go whenever. Because like when we all started to buy tickets, like we're recording right now. Like we got it.
Yep.
You have to. We don't take notes. You're not going in there and doing the same structure that we do typically. So we'll have to look at, this is coming out in June. We'll have to look either towards back end of June or early July, to be able to do one next month and see. But I think we'll have to really forecast that out and see when it comes out so that we can all make sure that whether we can see it on opening weekend or not, if we got to wait a week or whatever,
We should strive for that opening weekend.
Yeah, and it might not be as a movie that breaks records. It might be one that does have 3 or 4 times that we all are like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the absolute cinema IMAX movie, the one that's taking up all the big theaters. Like, it could be the smaller theater and it has 5. This one was going to be that, and then it just blew up. It wasn't, we didn't know it was going to go from 5 showings to 30 in a day, and it just
The
continued.
Odyssey is
July 22nd?
yeah.
It's going to be tough to get into that. It's going to be tough. I agree. It's going to be tough to get into that at the same time.
I'll be able to get into it.
I will.
Yeah,
I'll be able
8
to
movie credits in the hopper. So, because I have not gone and I've been paying for it. So, I got 8 movie credits for either myself or Lindsay to tag along to.
Or yourself.
Yeah.
So, probably 5 for me, 3 for Lindsay.
I would say Odyssey definitely is the movie of choice, and the 22nd is. Let me pull up my calendar. 22nd is a Saturday, so it'll probably come out Friday. So that first week, we'll have 2 weekends to see it, and then we'd have to. Opening weekend would make the most sense to drop one in July.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll shoot for the Odyssey. That'll be the plan. We'll pivot if we have to. We'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. We'll be watching it. But special features, episode 1, Backrooms in the books. Enjoyed it, gentlemen. This is fun. Spoilers all out there. We'll put it out there for you. If you haven't watched it, you don't know about it, feel free to listen. And we hope you guys enjoyed. And get out there and see Backrooms. If you want to watch some YouTube beforehand, apparently it helps, but I don't think you have to really understand it. So Backrooms in the book, postponed to the X-Files release to next week. So you guys will be getting that one next Friday. No Happy National Day today coming at you because the one you hear next Friday, we already passed it and it happened today. So appreciate you guys listening. Backrooms in the book, special features, genre of new podcasts up and coming at you once a month with movies and theaters getting a little more relevant. We'll see you guys next week on the X-Files. And when you get out there to see Backrooms, grab that bucket of popcorn and don't forget your extra butter. We'll catch you next week.
Extra butter on the corn for me. Extra butter. I hope they don't charge a fee. But it won't matter anyway. I got a good movie to play. I'm gonna ask my friends to stay extra butter for me.